Greetings, 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 brothers and sisters. Greetings. First and foremost, we must acknowledge our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through His only begotten Son, Yahushai, for allowing this word to come out. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters, man, are truly edified by today's word. And we're going to name this word, man. The Bible speaks about putting the horse before the carriage, not the carriage before the horse. And today's word, man, this is actually going to be a reload. I actually did this word the other day, and I totally am 100% guilty of putting the carriage before the horse by way of doing this word. How ironic was that? Okay, it was an accident, and I didn't even notice that I know what I meant to say. I knew what my intentions were, but I was saying it opposite. Okay, so this is actually a reload. So I hope you sincere brothers and sisters are truly edified by today's word. But again, we're going to talk about the Bible highlighting putting the horse before the carriage. But what you find out today is we put the carriage before the horse. And so without further ado, man, we're going to get into this word so you'll understand what I mean. I'll give you a couple examples, okay, of how we put the carriage before the horse. And I'll also give you examples of how the Bible highlights that we put the horse before the carriage, okay? So again, this is a reload. Okay, I did this video the other day and I did it totally backwards. Okay, the way I did the word the other day was I did it in the version of putting the carriage before the horse, when the intent was to show you how the Bible highlights how we put the horse before the carriage. You see, what's putting the horse before the carriage? That's simply to do things in the wrong order. And us as Israelites, I see it every day. It's a very common thing, okay, to put the carriage before the horse, so to speak. So right there, that's where we're, you know what I'm saying? You putting the carriage before the horse. So the carriage before the horse is to do things in the wrong order, okay? So in this word, I'm going to show you how, as an everyday thing of normality, I'm going to show you examples of how we put the carriage before the horse. And again, what's putting the carriage before the horse? Doing things in the wrong order, man. Okay? So what's one example of putting the carriage before the horse? Let's say you cleaning up your house, right? And the first thing you do is you mop the floor, then you dust and sweep it. That's an example of putting the carriage before the horse. You're supposed to dust and sweep first, then mop the floor. You see, that's an example, okay, of putting the carriage before the horse. What's another example of putting the carriage before the horse? Quitting a job, okay, thinking that you finna get this new job that you applied for. Just because you got an interview for the new job, you quit your old job. People do it all the time, aka put the carriage before the horse. They quit their job before they land a new job. Brothers and sisters, you land the new job, then you put your 2-week notice in of your old job. You see? Even when it comes to relationships, we put the carriage before the horse. How so? Think about it, okay? When you look at today's relationships, the routine, how it goes today is you meet somebody, at some point y'all have sex, and then guess what happens? The woman comes up pregnant, and then the man that have made this happen He has no job secured. The woman has no job secured. They have no secured living, but they talking about getting married. See that? That's putting the carriage before the horse. You're supposed to get married first. Okay? Have children. You dig? But before you do all of that, let me just give you the biblical way of how you do it. Okay? Again, putting the carriage before the horse would be pertaining to a relationship. You meet somebody, you have sex with them right away, you end up pregnant. While this happening, you have no secure job, you have no secure shelter, and y'all making plans to get married. Y'all making plans to get married. That is putting the carriage before the horse. You see? And in this word, I'm going to show you how you're supposed to put the horse before the carriage. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, is the original institution of marriage. And it tells a man, what do it tell a man to do? Let's see what it tells a man to do in Genesis 2:24. This is a beautiful example of how you put the horse before the carriage. In Genesis chapter 2, verses 24, and it reads, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." Right? This is a beautiful example of putting the horse before the carriage when it comes to marriage and relationships. Why? Because think about it. When the man leaves his parents' house, right, he has to have a secure job. Why? Because he has to get his own house. Why? Because he cannot entertain his wife in his mama and them house. He got to have his own house. So in order to have his own house, he has to have a secure job to be able to pay for that shelter. Once he has that secure job, he has the means to leave his mama and them house and go secure shelter for self and his woman. Now you go ahead and marry that woman. Then y'all have sex, obviously, become marriage. Y'all become married, have sex, and start a family. That's putting the horse before the carriage. You see? But that ain't how it's being done today. Today is people putting the carriage before the horse. And once again, I'm going to give you an example of that. Let's say you got somebody making plans, okay, to purchase a house. I'm talking about they meeting with realtors, they house shopping, right? They house shopping the whole nine, doing walkthroughs, trying to determine what house they want, right? Then they leave there, go to the car lot, looking at getting a 2024. All right, they done test drove several cars that they have intentions on getting. And then once he leaves the realtor, once he leaves the car dealership, now he goes to the mall or he goes to the club looking for the particular woman he want to be with, who he want to raise a family with, right? Then once he leave the club and figure out, okay, man, this is probably going to be the one right here. Then he goes home and sit down and say, okay, man, I got to figure out how to get a job now so I can purchase and maintain all these things. See that? That's ass backwards. He's putting the carriage before the horse. When you're supposed to put the horse before the carriage, okay? You're supposed to already have a job. First of all, you have to have the means. Okay, you got to have a job and you got to have finances. Once that's in place, now you go and your credit is in place. Now you go look for a house, or if you're talking about purchasing a house, now you can start looking at that. Once you secure the house, okay, boom, you have shelter. All right. If you have a car, you need a car to get around. Okay, that's cool. Go handle that. You should already have a car if you got a job. But anyway, once you secure the job, once you secure your shelter, okay, You find the woman you want to be with, y'all raise a family, live happily ever after. That's the way you do it, by way of putting the horse before the carriage. But nope, people put the carriage before the horse all the time and can't understand why things don't work. And 1 Corinthians 14:4, it tells you, in 1 Corinthians 14:40, it tells you, let's get that. It tells you, let all things be done decently and in order. Okay, AKA, put the horse before the carriage, man. Put the horse before the carriage. Simple. In Proverbs 24:27, let me get that. Let me get that right quick. As we get ready to close off this word. Okay, this is a re-upload. I did the other day, and I totally butchered it, for lack of better words. So I hope you sincere brothers and sisters really is edified by this, because people do this all the time. And a lot of people ain't even conscious that they put the carriage before the horse. What you see on the screen, the carriage before the horse. And that's how most people operate, believe it or not. What you see on the screen, this is exactly how we operate. In Proverbs 24:27, it says, prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thy house. You see that? So in other words, man, you don't do nothing without a plan. In other words, you put your outdoor work in order, then you get your field ready, and after that, build your house. See that? That's what we call putting the horse before the carriage. You putting things in the right order. Okay? You can't build a house if you ain't got the right, your field ain't ready. If you ain't got the right things in place to build a house, you can't build a house. But you got people or go build a house or try to go build a house. Field ain't ready. They ain't did no yard, ain't did no outdoor work to put themselves in position to do that. See that? Cold-blooded, man. So listen, man. Stop putting the carriage before the horse and put the horse before the carriage, man. If you got things going on in your life and you always in turmoil, or it always seem like you doing things ass backwards, that's because you putting the carriage before the horse, man. You got people that'll be slick. You got criminals. You even got criminals that put the carriage before the horse. You got people in relationships by way of cheating. They put the carriage before the horse. I've seen this, man. I've seen this. I've seen people try to be slick, deceptive, manipulative, all of that. And guess how they end up getting caught? Because they put the carriage before the horse when you're supposed to put the horse before the carriage, man. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters were truly, truly edified by this word. And we give all praises, glory, and honor to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out, man. And hey, stay tuned. We got the Sabbath service coming today, later today, man. Today is the Sabbath, and I really hope y'all be edified, man, because we're going to bring that word like we always do. And we hope some hungry soul is fed, man. Word.